Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Lakers had the Blazers tonight. We're gonna go ahead and just throw away the tape from the Bucks game last night. Done with that. We got our butts handed to us, but we showed a lot of heart. No problem. This is what we're gonna move on to. The Blazers and the Lakers. Now, the Blazers we know have made several trades that have blown their entire team up. They got Dame Lillard out. They waived Cody Zeller. They brought in Eric Bledsoe. Brought in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Brought in all these players. That will not be playing tonight. None of the guys that they've traded for over the last 2 days will be playing tonight, which means they're going to be running Anthony Simons, Yusef Nurkic, and that is going to be the bulk of what it is they do. Ben McLemore should get a lot of minutes tonight. CJ Elby should get a lot of minutes tonight. What's his name? I can't forget the guy. His name is played from the Clippers. We know him. He's been injured for a while, but anyway, he's going to get a lot of minutes too. Justice Winslow. There we go. Justice Winslow will be getting a lot of minutes this evening. And they have honestly, probably about 8 players, maybe 7 players suiting up. So if ever there was a game you needed sandwich in between the Bucks and the Warriors, it's a depleted Blazer team that's looking to rebuild right away. This reminds me of when Orlando traded away Vucevic and a bunch of other guys and left themselves with nothing but a couple rookies to play the most of their minutes. That's what we have going on tonight. So I really think this is a game that the Lakers can kind of bounce back on, flex a little bit, not have to worry too much about playing incredibly well in order to get a victory tonight. But at the same time, you got to understand this truth. Because tomorrow's the trade deadline, we may end up making a trade today that might deplete us too. We might not have some guys on this team in a couple hours that may otherwise have been here ready for us tonight. So it's really no guarantee who's going to be suiting up tonight. As I said yesterday, I'm bracing myself for this to be the last day for certain players. I think even though we love Malik Monk, I think the Lakers can't afford to let him walk. So it's a small chance that if they're not able to create cap space, this may be his last game tonight, or he may even be traded before the game starts. Nobody's rumbling about that, but I know if you're doing a deal with the Lakers and you're looking at how Malik Monk is playing, you know their situation. I'm demanding that the Lakers give me Malik Monk if I'm anybody trying to do anything, and the Lakers feel like they have to do something. LeBron James just essentially said that he didn't think we were good enough and didn't think we were going to be good enough to be on the Bucks levels last night. Chances are that means that he's putting pressure on us to do something and to get it done now, which is a good thing because we need to do something. I think the move for us to make is to try to get a center. I've thrown out there that I think we should try to go after Steven Adams, even though Steven Adams is playing great over the last several games, and I think playing with the Memphis Grizzlies, he probably wouldn't want to leave there. I wouldn't, given how they look versus us. But given how Russell Westbrook has played so poorly, and the fact that he's on a $17 million contract, if the Memphis Grizzlies would be willing to move him to free up some cap space and free up some things for some of the other bigs that they have, I don't think it would hurt them to have that flexibility, but I also don't think it would kill them to keep him playing, being that he's somebody who could be a vet for those younger guys. So that's just my thing. I don't think the Lakers are going to do anything like that. I don't even think they're thinking about something like that, but I felt like he would help Russell Westbrook. So either way, Mo Bamba, somebody we're looking at, which is something I've been championing for years. I've wanted us to bring Mo Bamba on this team probably for the last 3 years. So if we do that, you're going to see me jump around this room like crazy, just off the strength of him being one of my favorite young prospects in the league, and he's finally breaking out, but is stuck behind another player who's also just as good in Wendell Carter Jr., and it just seems like the Orlando Magic are choosing Wendell Carter over him, given the fact that Bamba's had some injury issues here and there. He gets knick-knack injuries and stuff. He needs to put on some weight and get in better shape, but otherwise, he's going to be one of the best shot-blocking, shooting centers out there going forward. So I'm super excited about the opportunity we can get with the prospect of picking him up, and I'm praying, damn near praying, that the Lakers make the move for him. That's the guy I want us to acquire today. But I don't know. It seems like the Lakers are more dead set on doing things that I don't want them to do, like picking up another old guy in Millsap and picking up a guy like Josh Richardson, of whom hasn't really worked out anywhere he's gone. But we need some defensive wing players and things of that nature, and I think that's where the Lakers are headed with it. So I personally am hearing a lot of people talking about trading for John Wall and using a 27 pick for that, and I just think that that's a horrible mistake. Quite frankly, I don't think John Wall is going to be the answer to our problems. And because he's not the answer to our problems, I don't think we should be giving away any more future assets. That's been the problem we've made for ourselves. It's not having the flexibility necessary to make deals and things of that nature because we don't have any picks or cap space. So I think giving away more picks is just reinforcing more of the problem. Essentially, you're saying, I didn't learn anything from the mistakes that I've already made, and let's continue to make more mistakes in the name of this here era, which I don't think is even worth doing that, given that right now it's 2022, and we're making decisions that are going to affect us 5 years from now. That's just not... That hasn't worked. This season ain't worth it in my mind. It's just not worth it. Even if John Wall makes us marginally better, is he really going to come in and make us so that we can beat a team like the Bucks? Hell no. The Bucks are going to sweep us if we happen to get to the finals to see them. It's not. I mean, we would never get to the finals to see them anyway, given the fact that we wouldn't get past any of the Western Conference teams that I think are better than us. I just don't think we're very good of a team, and I don't think that we're going to make a move that's going to make us good enough to beat any of those teams. We're just not going to do that unless we are able to get rid of Russell Westbrook for some type of fleece that brings us back some players that we just simply don't deserve based on the assets we have. So unless something like that happens, we're done anyway. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm just like, okay, let's just try to get some wins, take care of this game tonight. So that's what it is, man. As far as talking about the Portland Trailblazers, they just don't have anything out there right now outside of Anthony Simons. So, I mean, we're going to flex on them like Milwaukee flexed on us. That's what I essentially think should be the case tonight. Malik Monk, if he's able to play, I imagine if we don't trade him, he'll definitely be playing. He should have a big game tonight. Anthony Davis didn't exert himself enough in the first quarter. Kind of got embarrassed with trying to go head up against Giannis, ironically, as I did against the New York Knicks and got on Julius Randle for trying him. I got to do the same, stay consistent, and get on him for trying Giannis. You're not going to get a shot up over Giannis head up. He's in much better shape than you. He's quicker than you, and he's just as big and long as you. So it's just not. That wasn't wise. You got to give the ball up, and I think that's what I'm seeing a lot of what the Lakers are doing. We're trying things we have no business trying, doing things that really don't work play into our strengths, and ultimately, we're just continuing to fail. We're continuing to fail. But last night, as many said, felt different. It's one thing to not play well or to lose to a team that sucks and you're disappointed and you're pissed and all that, but that wasn't what we felt last night. Last night we felt like we had our big three and we just weren't good enough. We had everybody that we needed to be healthy was healthy last night, and we still got our boots smoked. So at this point, it was a reality check for everybody, including LeBron James, and I think tonight's game against a bad team that's depleted should be exactly what we need. I don't really see much room for us to lose tonight. I don't. I thought we scored very well last night against a fantastic Bucks team, and that tells me that we can score against a team that's much worse than them. So we should be able to go into their building, even though Moda Center is a place that we don't play well in a lot of the time. Ain't gonna be no Dame, ain't gonna be no CJ. He's in New Orleans now, so it's about Anthony Simons, and I think Anthony Simons has a chance to have a fantastic game tonight, but LeBron and AD and all that would be too much for them. We should be too much for them. Nurkic could have a really big game. We should still be too much for them. So, this is just a situation where by default, because they don't have their guys, I think we can play up to our level and still get a victory. But that's not going to happen very often, and we have lost games like this against OKC, against Houston. I believe we lost to Houston. So, the Lakers always find a way to leave the door open no matter who the opponent is. It could be the UCLA Bruins. We're still going to leave the door open because of Frank's rotations and small ball lineups and his stand-around offense and all the stuff I always complain about from day-to-day basis. I do believe that no matter who we bring in, we're going to struggle, as you guys know, because of his decision-making and his lack of respect for size. And more than anything, I just want us to do what we have to do in regards to replacing that coach. But you guys already know that. So, I think this is going to be a breath of fresh air for the Lakers tonight. We have a very good chance to bounce back from a very demoralizing game. Obviously, Russell Westbrook has been benched in the last 2 fourth quarters, which has been very good for us. To be honest with you, we play a lot better when he's not on the floor, cut and dry. We saw some good things out of Austin Reeves yesterday, getting to the rack. His three-point shot fell a little bit yesterday. It left me encouraged. I like Stanley Johnson's effort yesterday. He did some good things. Even though THT has not been playing well, we saw some good steals from him yesterday, some good defensive sequences that really helped us in situations. So, I'd expect him to be one of the main guys that we trade. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's gone today. if we make a move at all. So, it's a lot of stuff that we can take a look at in terms of, what went wrong. But I think tonight is just like a breath of fresh air. It's like a little taste of medicine that should to make us feel a little better. We get to lick our wounds against a bad team after getting beat up yesterday. So I'm hopeful that we'll do that. It is a back-to-back, so that means there is a chance that maybe somebody will be rested. But given what we're going through, given how people looked on that podium last night, I think guys are going to be playing tonight. I think they'll be right back out there. Russell Westbrook's confidence is not where it needs to be. I did love the display of him trying to encourage his teammates, even though it looked a little out of place. Everything that he's doing at this point seems a little out of place, so you just take the good energy as you can get it and move on, because as we know, he's going through a nightmare right now. This is him coming home to his hometown team and the fit not being well, and as a result, he's not playing very good at all. And then it's just a confidence spiral that seems to just be going worse and worse and worse. You know me, I'm a mental health person. I always talk about mental health, and that's exactly what I see there. His mental health is just headed down the toilet. He's, and we're just seeing a lot of nervous energy from him in terms of like giggling and stuff like that, for which I understand. He's just in a very uncomfortable position. And, it's for me, naturally, I'm going to look at the style of play. I think that the stand around offense, that scheme it shines a light on him to make certain decisions. And if he's going through the motions with being a Laker, the last thing he needs is to be the focal point of attention in an offensive system that doesn't allow for much ball movement around him. And I really, 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 really think that is the problem. And it was the problem with Kuzma as well in a different way. Guys just don't play well in Frank's offense. And as long as we continue to ignore that aspect of the situation, whoever we bring in is going to have to deal with the same stuff. Bottom line is, this dude puts the wrong players on the floor at the wrong times. And then he'll have, as I said, players standing around while one person isolates. And those ISO players are usually not players that are put in position to do anything but give the ball away, because the defense gets to hone in on the fact that everyone's standing around. What we saw from the Bucks was a lot of movement on their plays. Things that make the game easier for them. They get defensive stops, get in transition. Their bigs get the rebound and get the ball to different players who are relocating around the perimeter and around the game, around the floor in such a way that allows for no one to really have to sit there and just move as they move. The Bucks are the greatest example. When they run things through Giannis and everyone's standing around, because that's what we saw from the Bucks for the first 4 years of Budenholzer's time there, or however long it's been, they would run things through Giannis and they would end up turning the ball over. They have stagnant offense and things of that nature. When they turned that around and started running things through Middleton, when they started making the plays and the movements that I'm telling you I saw last night, that's when they started seeing more out of the players that they had. It wasn't just that the players weren't doing right. It wasn't that Giannis was the worst player on the team, because a lot of people were saying he was playing so horribly, he was playing into the defense hands a lot of time. It was because they're running the stuff that we're running right now. Stand around offense, ISO offense, and making it so that the light is shined on Giannis, right, to create for himself, and ultimately leaves the defense able to hone in on him. When you run misdirection plays, run screen, different types of things that make the movement of the ball and the movement of players more frequent, you'll find yourself in situations where you won't have situations like what Russell Westbrook's going through. He's not trying to take the ball off the dribble and stepping out of bounds, because he's off ball, catching the ball in situations where he's just diving at the rim. Probably gets calls that way, probably feels better about himself, probably isn't in his head as much. Those things translate. And I'm telling you, that's the problem. It's hard enough being a Laker alone. The last thing you need is a light shined on you as you're struggling. And that is what Frank's offense does to each and every player on this team. And I've seen it now for 3 years. And I understand that it is a very, very big catalyst for why we struggle. And it creates the domino effect of what we're seeing from different players as they struggle in this roster. Russell Westbrook needs a big on the floor. Every situation where he's been successful, there's been a big on the floor to help clean up some of these missed layups that he can dump the ball to, so he's not driving at the basket, being focused on, and those things matter. So I just understand that clearly. I've seen it enough all year long. I'm sick of it. Frank Vogel doesn't coach offense. And quite frankly, for him to be a defensive coach, he doesn't respect size. And that tells me he didn't coach defense either. So I know I put a lot of attention on him, but I'm telling you why. It literally is his offense that makes guys worse, and his rotations that put people in positions to fail. Until we do something about him, it really doesn't matter what else we do, and we got to understand that. So, as I preach the same old thing every single day, I'm still sitting up here and I still have to look at his face every single day, and it just pisses me off. Every time I see his face on the screen, I get angry because I know he is the problem. It ain't just the roster. It ain't just the decision making to put this roster together. It ain't LeBron James or nothing like that. It's him and the circumstances he puts everyone in with his decision making and his lack of imagination on both ends of the floor. Fire the man, for God's sakes, please. Anyway, so as we go up against Portland Trailblazers, we'll probably get a win tonight, even though he's going to do some of those same things. I don't know why anybody would start Trevor Ariza against Giannis Antetokounmpo. That was something I didn't put enough of emphasis on last night. Just asinine stupidity. That's all that would make a person do that. And you know, I want to say something about the players on this team. Y'all have got to speak up, man. I like what LeBron James did last night in saying we're not good enough. That was the honesty we're looking for. But I want guys to look like a guy like Trevor Ariza. Don't put me on Giannis, bro. I'm Trevor's age, right? So I wouldn't do this in front of everyone, but I would talk to Frank. I would sit him down and say, listen, where I'm at in my career, this does not give us the best opportunity to win. I cannot. And it's sad that I have to even say this, but I cannot guard Giannis. I'm not going to be able to do this. You know, and a guy like Russell Westbrook say, look, man, this is how I feel comfortable on this team. You have to put me in situations to run my pace. I can't be the primary ball handler, man. It's not going to work. I need to be able to catch the ball off ball. I need to be able to catch the ball off ball and off screens so that I can have situations where I'm diving at the rim so that I can get some motion away from the defense. When the defense hones in on me, I'm not strong there. You guys got to be able to know themselves and be able to communicate to their coach what it is that'll help them be successful. You guys are too old and too experienced in this league to not understand what is wrong and how best to communicate how to fix it. And that's what disappoints me about this roster the most. Guys are allowing themselves to be in situations that don't help them be successful, and it seems to me that they're just letting it happen because they want to be on the floor and they want to. You guys look worse because of it. And if you think you're going to get a job somewhere else, it's going to be because of this crap that you don't. That's what I'm trying to convey. It's like, look, if you guys don't be verbal to Jeannie, to Rob, to your coaching staff about what it is that you need to succeed. It's the same thing that I think Gilbert Arenas was alluding to when I was listening to him speak. If you guys don't put yourselves in positions to be understood, Frank is just going to keep on doing the same old stupid crap, man. You know, he needs help. He needs basketball minds like LeBron James to say, listen, this is what I see. This is what's not working. This is what we need to do, and this is how we're going to change it. And if we don't have that type of leadership, that type of speak up, guys just be moody when things don't work. They just hang their head. No, you got to be solution based. And I think for the next rebuild, we need to find the type of personalities that know how to do that. Okay, those are the type of players. I don't like this passive type of energy. I'm not gonna say passive aggressive because that's not what I think it is. But it's just passive. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna tell him I can't be in this situation because then he's never gonna play me. But the reality is, if he plays you and puts you in that situation, you're never gonna look good. So at some point in time, guys, you can stop being whatever this is and start being more solution based. Or your team is gonna continue to struggle and you're gonna continue to get booed and all of this nonsense. You know, a guy like LeBron says we can't get better. On one hand, I appreciate him saying that because I think he's sending a message to the team. On the other hand, I'm saying, no, that's some bull crap because you are LeBron James and you are the smartest basketball player in all the league, allegedly. But I'm starting to question that given the fact that you actually wanted Russell Westbrook. That wasn't smart. So it's a lot of things, you know what I mean? Your haters is saying that you're stupid and all that. I don't know what's going on. All I know is guys are not showing me what I need to see as a fan in terms of the progression of things. I was screaming about our plays 3 months ago. We're not running enough ball movement, not enough player movement. I was saying that stuff 3 months ago, and I'm still seeing stand around offense. I've been screaming about, size differential and how we don't respect size and small ball doesn't work and how detailed I've been about how it's been a detriment to our team. And we still run a small ball. It's like, do you guys like losing? You guys like feeling this way? You know what I mean? Because as a fan, I don't. I really don't. You know, it gets to a point where it's like, We're not as helpless as it seems like the players are and the coaching staff and everybody's acting like we are. There are things you can do that can make us look better and make us be better, and those things are not being done. And if I knew Jeanie directly, I would say, look, that's your problem right there. You don't have people being honest with you. You don't have people being honest with one another. And that's what I think LeBron James kind of turned the tide on last night. It's time to start being real. We ain't good enough. But why are we not good enough? Plethora of things that can be changed. Those are the reasons why we're not good enough. It's a plethora. It's about 5 or 6 different things that we can do to get better. Get these dead weight off our team. DJ should not be here after today. You know, you don't even use Wayne Ellington. That's a solid shooter who doesn't defend. If you're not going to put him in the game, trade him. Get him out of here. Bring in a G League player who can do a bunch of things. We may not necessarily have his game up yet, but we can at least see ascend to being who it is we're supposed to see. And that's what bothers me. It's like there's going to be a G League player somewhere that's playing right now who's going to step up and be crazy great. Somewhere. And that player can be acquired right now by the Los Angeles Lakers. And they're not doing that because they're not thinking along those lines. And those are the lines I want to start thinking along. Find that guy and bring him to this team. You know, and stop running around Trevor Dan Ariza. Seriously. With respects to his name. I'm sorry for the disrespect, but like, stop it. Seriously. We need to do things like that in order to get us the assets that we're lacking. You got to make those assets grow out of nothing. And the only way you're going to do that is to be able to get inexpensive, high-quality pieces. That's how you do it. And it just seems like the Lakers are just sitting on their thumbs, waiting for something to happen, watching it go down, thinking along the lines of other stuff. And I'm like, no. Get active. There are things you can do to get better. And it ain't bringing in Josh Richardson struggling ways or trying to get Paul Millsap when he couldn't even get it done in Brooklyn. It's the same damn stupidity that we had in regards to DJ. It's the same stupidity. He could not be utilized in Brooklyn. But you thought you were going to bring him here and make him something that he wasn't. You're going to do the same exact thing with a player on Brooklyn. You're going to bring another useless Brooklyn player here. And you think he's going to be the answer to your problem. Like this is the type of stuff that just makes me say, okay, it's just, we need to scrap the brain trust. Whoever's making the decisions, that's the person that needs to go now. If it's our GM and he's got these ideas, he's the one that needs to leave. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. I know this is supposed to be a prelude to the Portland Trailblazers, but that game ain't worth talking about, man. It's not. We're going to go out there against a depleted team. We're either going to play well enough to beat them or they're going to beat us. That's literally it. The real issue is what's actually happening. And that is us not even thinking of the right things to fix our situation. And that is a huge problem. Luckily enough, I got a voice and I can actually see what needs to be done here. Hopefully this video gets to whoever needs to so that we can start making those decisions, man. I'm tired of complaining every day that my team sucks. I'm tired of seeing people make bad decisions and hearing about rumors that ain't going to make us any better. Don't trade away 2027 for John Wall. That's stupidity. Don't do that. That's the dumbest thing ever. You're not even getting flexibility for that. You're just going to have the same issue with John Wall. John Wall may be a better player now, but what the hell does that even mean? Is he going to make us a little better? We're still not going to beat anybody. Don't do anything stupid like that. Getting rid of Russell Westbrook to help this season is stupid. Now, if you could do it in a way that gets us some flexibility to help us for next season and the seasons going forward, that makes more sense. But trying to salvage this ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. You're not going to get good enough. There's no way in hell. So just understand that and start thinking about the future. You know how far extreme I can get. I'm thinking Trey Bron. He'll get us all the picks we need. But nobody's ever going to do that because that's considered stupid, even though he's 37. So, I don't know, man. My frustration level is as it is. I didn't want to scrap it last night, you know what I mean, in terms of seeing the fight of this team. But that came with the understanding that there are things we can do to tweak the team to make us better so that we won't have to scrap it. But judging what it is that I'm saying right now, as long as we have the stand around offense and the small ball lineups, making those decisions not to scrap the team is useless. We're still going to run the same crap and have the same problems. So that is my thoughts. Hopefully we do some good things tonight against Portland to get Russell Westbrook's confidence back up. That's the most important thing we need to do. Him playing like this and acting like this is just going to make us worse. We have got to find a way to make him a competent basketball player once again. That's the reality of it. His struggles It's just as much a bad reflection on him as it is on us. It's equal because we brought him here and we did not give him the environment that would make him comfortable. We didn't create the environment that would make him comfortable. So when you talk about Russell Westbrook, you understand that people like me can see that side of it too. This is on you, Los Angeles Lakers. Get your crap together. My name is BDF44. Everybody enjoyed the game. Somehow, I hope you enjoy it. I expect a good game out of AD tonight. That's who I'm looking at because he didn't exert himself enough in that first half. Give me more. Stanley Johnson continued a nice play. Flex on this team that is depleted. They should not be able to beat us. My name is BDF44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.